Hey there, Grade 5. This video is all about graphing. Now in the past, you've probably made some very simple bar graphs as part of your work in data management. This means that you've tracked one thing over a number of different possible answers. For example, most of you have probably at some point taken a survey of your classmates for a favorite food, say a favorite ice cream, something pretty close to that. Let's take a look at what that data may look like. Here I've got a tally chart showing that I've interviewed 20 different people. If I look across it, I can see that 9 people said chocolate, 7 said vanilla, 3 said strawberry, and only 1 person said that mint chocolate chip is the best flavor. That person is obviously correct, but this video isn't really to argue that. We're going to start today by reviewing how you might have turned this data into a bar graph in the past. Bar graph!
So here I am with my touch pen and smart recorder, hoping this all goes well. Now the first thing that we need to make any graph go smoothly is proper labels. That means we need to start by putting a title on this whole graph. This one we can call favorite ice cream. Great. Now we also need to label our horizontal and vertical lines. In math, we refer to horizontal or vertical on any graph or on the coordinate plane as x and y. X is left and right, Y is up and down. And if we're working in 3 dimensions, we can also add Z, forward and back. If you've ever tried designing anything in 3D on the computer, you've probably seen this, but maybe didn't understand why the letters were there. Well, that's what they mean. And your design tool, or Minecraft, which I know for a fact does this, was math. Sorry. Anyway, we're going to label our x-axis here as flavors, so we know that each place along it represents a different choice. We're also going to write the different flavors along the bottom, or at least a short version of them to represent them. There we go. Our y-axis should probably be something like number of people, something to show us that this is how many people responded with that flavor. Perfect. Now we need to choose our scale. Should each square be just 1 person, or should we count by 2s, 3s, 5s, something else? As long as we count by the same number every time, we're good. These numbers are pretty small, so we're safe counting by 1s here. If my range is something like from 0 to 40, I may want to count by a bigger number like 5s. But for today, we're going to go with 1s. Alright, now that we've got a title and our label, we can draw our bars. Now we know chocolate had 9 people, so we're going to bring the line up to 9. And draw our bar. Vanilla had 7. So we can draw that bar. Strawberry had 3. So we can put our bar at 3. And finally, mint chocolate chip had only 1. Done. There's your graph.
Now that should all be review for you. But what happens if we want to track differences in things? Maybe we did the ice cream survey twice. Once when the students were in grade 3, and then again when they were in grade 6. It can sometimes be valuable to look at differences in data between 2 times or between 2 places. Maybe those grade 3 students just didn't have a chance to try mint chocolate chip and realize how obviously better it was. 3 years later, they might have. Let's take a look at this second tally chart showing the survey data of the same 20 kids in grade 6. Wow, that's quite the difference. Chocolate and vanilla both took a bit of a hit. Strawberries disappeared completely. And mint chocolate chip has surged. Now I could just make a second graph showing this and go back and forth between the two. But it's a lot easier to see the comparisons if I just work on one graph. Let's go back to the original.
Alright, grade 5. Now, to pull all of this data together, we're going to create what's called a double bar graph. Now that's just a bar graph that's showing 2 sets of information at once. Luckily for us, we've already set up our first graph. I've got it right here on the tablet. This time, since we're talking about the same type of information, we just need to add our second data set and what's called a key. to help us tell grade 3 apart from grade 6 information. You may have noticed that I didn't color in my bars the first time around. Now, that's just not because I'm boring and have no style, true as that may be. It's also so that now that I'm adding more information, it can be clear what's what. So first, I'm going to add my key to the corner of the graph. It's going to tell the person reading my graph what each bar means. In this case, the grade 3 bars are going to be in white, and I'm going to use a different color or shading technique for the grade 6 bars. I'm going to make that clear by writing it down here. So there's my first square, and I'm just going to say grade 3. My second type of data, my second set, I'm going to use squares that I've drawn a bunch of dots in, so you can tell that bar apart from the grade 3 bar. And this is a grade 6 square. So this is my key. And I've boxed it in so you can see it's not actually part of my graph. Now, though the numbers for my two sets of data are different, the things that they're recording are exactly the same. None of my numbers are going to go any bigger than 10 this time, so I don't need to change my scale, and my x and y axis are still recording what I wanted to record accurately. I just need to add new information. I don't even have to change the title because this is still talking about favorite flavors of ice cream. I might want to change it to over time if I wanted to get more detailed, but I don't have to. What I do need to do, for sure, is add the bars for my grade 6 survey. And I do that right next to the bars for their grade 3 answers, so all of my data stays organized. So in grade 6, 6 people changed their answer to chocolate. Since this is a grade 6 bar, I'm going to use the information from my key and draw dots all over it so I can tell it apart from the grade 3 bars. In grade 6, again, 6 people chose vanilla. So we'll make that bar next to the bar for vanilla in grade 3. Also go to 6. And we're going to fill it in. So I can see, looking at the information, that from grade 3 to grade 6, 3 people changed their answer from chocolate to something else, and 1 person changed their answer from vanilla. Strawberry has nobody. I don't need to draw anything for strawberry. It's done. But mint chocolate chip now goes all the way to 8, which means I actually need to move my key because it's in the way. Mint chocolate chip goes all the way to 8. So let's put it at 8. And since it's a grade 6 bar, it gets all these little dots. Now I can see, in one place, on one graph, the change in attitude towards each flavor of ice cream between grade 3 and grade 6. It's really easy for me now to look at the trends in data and changes that occurred over time. This kind of graph could also be useful if, for example, you were comparing the temperatures in 2 different places. My y-axis might be degrees Celsius, my x-axis different days, and I could use a different kind of bar for 2 different places. As long as you're recording the same information about 2 different things, different places, or different times, or different classes, you can use a double bar graph to help you make sense of that data.
All right, that's it. I hope all that drawing made sense to you. It's just a baby step on top of what you've already understood making regular bar graphs in the past, but this little tiny baby step can make a huge difference in how easy it is to access some pretty important information and differences. Until next time, grade 5, happy graphing. Peace.